Hi, and thank you for tuning in to Dani Changg. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about gender roles, and I'll just let everyone on the panel quickly introduce themselves before we get started.
Christopher, Steve Wright, Toronto local actor.
Awesome.
I'm Melissa McKenzie.
And I'm Robin Blackman, like literally.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so my first question for all of you guys is, do you believe in traditional roles? So like the woman being the housewife, the man being the breadwinner, you know? And if you do, like why or why not?
Doesn't matter. No. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the woman being the housewife, but if the woman's the breadwinner, there's nothing wrong with that either. Mm-hmm. I mean, my cousin, shoot, his wife makes more money than him. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that he's less of a man in the household. He's still the man in the household, but even though he's making less and she's making more.
Yeah. But like for you, what would be your personal preference? Or do you not really have
I don't
one?
care.
You don't care? Yeah.
I don't care, man. It's like, listen, if she's making more money than me, great. You know what I mean? As long as I'm not being made to feel like beneath you. That's the main thing. If you're still letting me be a man, that's fine. Because a man, I mean, a dollar amount shouldn't be put on the value of whether or not you're a man. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I'm okay with either or. Like if you're doing your thing, I'm doing mine. Like that, I'm good. Doesn't matter if you're making more than me or vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
What do you guys think?
I don't believe that there is, like now in our society nowadays, I don't really think there's much gender role. I think it's kind of a gray area, like he said, where it's like there's households where, you know, the woman's making more money and vice versa. So I don't really think that there's anything in that regards. For me personally, like I know that there are people out there that definitely have like a structured view of like the woman is supposed to do this and the man is supposed to do that, and as a man you should make this much and whatever, but I don't believe in that. I think it's partnership, two people coming together in a relationship and building from there. And if it so happens that I bring home more money or he brings home more money, as long as we're happy and we're in a partnership, then we're good.
Okay.
And plus, women are making a lot more money today too.
I know, they're so
it's time to make more money. So.
But like apart from the money piece, what do you guys think about in terms of like in the home itself? Because okay, the woman could be making more money, but then do you still feel as though the woman should be doing most of the domestic things within the house? Do you feel like, you know what I mean, the man should be doing more of the, you know, taking out the garbage and fixing the car? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Not just the money piece, but the actual roles within the home.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about traditional, I mean, let's face it. I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but growing up in a West Indian household, the house had to clean. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's the man or the woman. We both clean that house. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not. My mother raised me differently that way. It was like every Saturday, Christopher, you have to clean up. It's Saturday, you have to clean the house. I was just like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean.
So for you don't feel as though that's
No, I'm hoping that she cleans as well as myself, because I know I'm gonna clean, but I'm hoping she cleans because I'm not trying to live with a dirty woman, you know. I'm just saying.
I don't know, I feel like for me, I would hope that my partner, whoever I end up with, is not gonna be like, you need to cook, clean, wash dishes, take care of the kids. Because I have girlfriends that are in situations like that where it's like they do just as much work outside the home, and then they come into the home and the expectation is, well, my dinner should be ready, or like get the kids off to bed and things like that. And I know that there are some females who might feel obligated because society tells us like, you're the woman and this is what you should do. I was raised by my dad, and his thing was always, you should know how to do this as a girl child. You should know how to do that as a girl child.
So traditional roles, back to the question, I don't necessarily believe in the man must be the one to make the money and the woman must be the one to stay home and cook, because I mean in this day and age we can't survive on that. The economy, you know, only certain people who make exactly. So now the woman is forced into the work world. She gets oblige when it comes to the promotion over me or getting a job even, because in the workforce apparently she's not seen as much of a threat.
Definitely, for at least for myself, in terms of the traditional roles, I do actually think that I do ascribe to traditional roles. Like, I do think I do kind of want the guy to take out the garbage, and not to say that I would be able, if I'm working a full-time job just like he is, to do all the cooking, but I might be okay with, I am okay actually with doing more of that, and maybe even more of the cleaning and stuff like that. But then obviously that's also a personal choice and depends on a lot of things, because if a guy wanted me to, for instance, to do all of the cooking and all of the cleaning, I'm gonna say, okay, so then you're paying for everything then, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I can't work if I have to do all, like, everything else, right?
Once you're in a partnership, it's no me and my and I.
That's true.
You know what they say, the nature of a woman, don't be, but nature of a woman is what's yours, what's mine is mine, what's yours is mine. So, that's the nature. That's usually my bottom line when it comes to a lot of things. What is your nature in your gender roles? So if I see your nature, it tells me what your strong points might be depending on your nature, not your personality. So if she buys the groceries and whatever else and he pays for the mortgage and the price, that's what he's good at by nature. Picking out the food, preparing the food, or knowing what's healthy for the family. She's a nurturer. That's her nature. So they work well within that.
So what do you guys think in terms of men, for instance, being the one to stay home, right? Or like the stay-at-home dad, or the woman, like, for us, right? Would we be okay with being the breadwinner, right? What do you guys think about that?
The simple answer for that for me is actually, I'm okay with, most likely that's probably what would happen in my case anyway, because only because because the type of work I'm in. Because sometimes like I could be working straight, crazy hours, and then I'll be off for 6 months. Yeah. And so it balances out like that for me anyway. So I'm totally okay with that.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
There's days when I'm torn. Yeah. There's days when I have the bills and I have the responsibilities and I have this, and I'm like, man, I just want to marry somebody and just stay home. I'm like, I'm tired.
Natural instinct kicking in.
Right? And it's just like, oh, but then when I snap out of that, which I usually do, I'm like, I think I'd prefer a partnership. Because for me, I know that I know women that are like, that's their end goal, is to like get married and stay home, and that's totally fine. Yeah. But for me, I feel like I would need to bring some value to the relationship outside of cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids, which is major. Like I'm not saying that. Yeah, it's less, but I feel like I would still wanna, within my own self, be able to contribute, to bring a paycheck and to say, here, I'm contributing. So I would want a partnership where we do both.
For me, I would say, I don't care. If she goes out and she makes more money, it's better for the household. Yeah. As long as lady don't emasculate me. Because now the physical aspect is gonna stay, oh, we have money. Yeah. We could shop at McEwen's and stuff now. We don't have to go and, buy, save coupons and stuff. We could live a particular lifestyle. Yeah. However, if you emasculate me, then the relationship isn't going to hold. Yeah. So it have two aspects. Yeah. Right? How does that affect our relationship?
That's a good
Just
point.
because you want to keep, particular things. So go out and make the money. Okay, now you are out there, you're making more money. Things have to be done at home. Let me do it, but make me still feel like a man at the end.
Yeah, I see it there. Sure!
Okay, but how does she make you feel like a man?
Babe, you make a great dinner tonight. That's my boy Tiger. So there's ways and means.
At the end of the day, just still let him be a man.
A man is more receptive to a woman when it is she makes him feel like the king. Then he will make her feel like the queen. Then the partnership happens, the household running at top value, the relationship running at top value, more kids, because you know what?
And you know what though? There's so many things that the man can still do that will give him that. You know what I mean? Say you're very handy around the house, you can be like, oh babe, thank you so much for doing this. Like, you know, you're such a man's
But
man,
what if I'm
you know?
not handy?
Well,
And I can pick up, fix your Wi-Fi.
I'm just using that as
But
an
no, but
example.
what happens is sometimes some women expect your husband to be just like your dad because your dad knew how to fix a chair, let's say.
Yeah.
But you are better at getting the Wi-Fi up, running the Netflix, you know, entertainment aspect, the technical stuff as opposed to the, you know, more physical stuff where you have to fix things.
Yeah.
So what would happen is she will come and emasculate you by saying, you know, you can't do this.
Yeah. Just like if you wanted the type of woman that's gonna cook, you have to pick the type of woman that likes to cook, right? You know what I mean? So you kind of also have to see what you want and then find someone that has a similar viewpoint.
I'm glad you said that, because you can't pick a female who is a certain way and then expect her to be different just because you're married. The same way that y'all like appreciation, we love appreciation too. Like, babe, thanks for, you know, thanks for this, thanks for that. Like, whatever you feed into people, you're gonna get back.
And for myself, in terms of would I be okay with being the breadwinner, I would say it's not my preference, me personally, right? I'm being real, right? I wouldn't but obviously it depends on the situation, right? Because I'm very cool with both of us working and then us having a partnership at home and, you know, playing off each other's strengths and stuff like that as well, right? But then if I'm in a position where I'm with someone where I would be able to stay at home, take care of the kids and that kind of stuff, I would be okay with that as well. I think the way I am though, also, I would want to be doing something, but I don't necessarily need to be working a 9 to 5, 8, you know what I mean? That kind of
You'd be freed up to work on like your passion projects. So
exactly,
you know, women who have money, they can work for charities and throw, you know, fundraisers. But if that's not your thing, whatever your thing is, now you have time.
Now you have the option
for exactly, for that thing, which would be amazing.
Stay woman, clean and watch the picture.
So for the guys, what type of woman are you looking for in terms of like gender roles? Like, what type of woman are you going for?
She must be able to know how to wash chicken.
Oh
my god!
No, I'm a West Indian. Certain things are important to me. Wash the chicken, know how to season chicken, and keep a clean home. It's certain basic things I need, not only as, you know, a human being, but you know, cleanliness is close to godliness as well. I can't be the only clean one. She has to know how to do certain basic roles. Now, she doesn't need to know how to do all the roles, but you have to clean the chicken. You know how to clean other things. You know, it's a generational thing. I can't have nasty kids either. Who will teach them? Only me, but you nasty, no. So, you know, certain basic things. I don't need a holistically traditional woman. Just certain basics we need to have. And don't emasculate me.
Okay, we know.
Don't emasculate me.
No, we know that's very important to you,
I agree with him. I gotta be clean, gotta be able to clean. Cook more than chicken. Sorry, that's not just the chicken. She have to learn how to clean the goat and the steak and
wild meat. Cook the wild meat. Clean the wild meat.
Wait, hold on. I got even the next one. She even has to wash the rice. You know how to wash the rice.
Don't get me no sand and no rice. I'm not eating sand. That is not edible. Kidney stones come from sand.
Of this show, I think I've lost completely.
No, but it's true though, for real.
Okay, so we understand. You guys need a cook, a professional chef.
No, not a professional chef, but just know how to cook. Make sure you clean, do those things, because I'm gonna be doing those things too. And and like you said, don't emasculate. Like still make me feel like a man. And let me serve you. And letting you feel like a woman, right?
So you guys are looking for a more traditional female, essentially. What you're saying, what you're focusing on, the cook
to an extent. Yeah.
So she still must be willing to go out and work for some work. Should she have the better income or the greater advantage between the two.
Okay.
So, you know.
So you want a woman that knows how to do those things, but you're also willing to help as well.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, if I can't give birth to a child, I can't nurture a child. I could try my damn best. I have boobs, yeah, but it doesn't have milk. Right? So, who can do that? The woman has to. So, you know, it's all about certain roles are yours. It may not have to be traditional roles. It's like, one time I told a girl, the man is the head. And she's like, I'm not bowing down to no man. I'm like, hold up, how many heads do you have? You have one head, one neck. You are the neck. What turns the head?
Dome.
The neck.
That's it.
Who is more important? If you lose your neck, you're dismembered from the body, you're dead. If you lose your head, you're dismembered from the body, you're dead.
It's it.
Either way, you're both important, but your role is what has to stick with you, and that comes with your gender. A man has to teach your son, because I guess when you get together, you're gonna have kids, some people.
Yeah.
And who's gonna teach him how to be a man for the next generation? Who's gonna teach him how to do things? A woman can try, she could simulate it, but practically, a man needs to do it.
Yes, as a woman, I'm the only one that can give birth. However, I think we need to let go of the misconception that a male cannot nurture and take care of their children and be loving fathers who aren't just about, if you scrape your knee, get back up. Because as a female, like I don't have children of my own yet, but I have children. I have nieces and nephews, and my nephews, if they want to cry, if they hurt themselves, I'm not like, man up. I'm like, you know, let that out, because as a society we tend to like completely cut them off from that, and that's why they turn into these guys that are like, I'm a man, don't emasculate me, I'm a man type of thing.
And somewhat disconnected from their own emotions.
Exactly, their own emotions and their own feelings. So for me, 110%, like I need and maybe it's not going to be considered traditional gender role, but I need a man to be in touch with his emotions and his feelings. Like that's super important to me, because if I'm going to come to you and have a conversation, I need you to be able to listen to me on a level where it's not ego and it's not my masculinity and this and that and whatever, which can be perceived as me attacking you if it's straight ego. But you need to be able to be open, and that sometimes that openness is considered a feminine trait.
The openness emotionally, I believe that some men have to learn how to have a balance with it, because in my experience I've found that you have a man who, to me and to maybe my other male peers, might seem very open emotionally. He would not be afraid to cry, but what happens is, you and I in a relationship, Dani, I am now taking up certain roles. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm whatever. You come home and you're like, why is this shoe here? And then he feels like, well, I have cooked all day and I have scrubbed the roof and I have rubbed the walls, and you complain for one shoe and he completely break down in front of you. Emotionally open, but how do you perceive that man after he breaks down based on how he automatically feels?
Like he's not a man.
Thank you. Thank you. He's not a man. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Let her answer.
If
you guys can answer for her.
No, well, that's the initial thing.
Answer. Go ahead.
But for every situation, if he feels a particular way, he decides he has to be open about it. How would you perceive that man?
Well, as they say nowadays, there's levels to this stuff, right? So there's levels to this.
Exactly.
Obviously, while I would appreciate a man that is open with his feelings and who we're able to communicate and have that, open communication, I obviously don't want someone that's going to be crying for nothing. Like, let's be real. So there really is levels to this, and yeah, there is going to be a man where I'm going to think, okay, maybe you're a little bit too emotional, but then I might think the same thing even about a woman that's that overly emotional.
That's what I was gonna ask. If you come home and you are like, babe, why is this shoe here? And she breaks down and throws this dramatic fit.
Now my emotional openness will have to tell me
No. Not your emotional openness. As the man. As the man. How would you respond to that?
Well, you said me. Me emotionally. So if I'm open emotionally, I have to do two things: understand it from the woman's point of view, and then understand it from my man logical thinking point of view, and combine the two to understand that she might be going through something all day that if she broke down for something to me is so minute, I can't react in a way that, why are you behaving like that? It's so small, but she's going off of how she feels.
Could it not be the same thing that he might be going through something? And I just want to say this one thing, and this is the point I'm trying to make with, is that you guys are like, well, you're not gonna think he's a man. If and there's always levels to this. There's levels to this shit, okay? If I come home and you're crying over one little deggy shoes on the floor, all right, babe, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because really and truthfully, usually it's something deeper. As a woman, I'm not gonna cry over 1 foot of shoe on the ground. There's something deeper. So why are you able to give me the bly, but I can't give him the bly? If he's bawling every 5 minutes, then it's a problem. Then maybe he's too emotional or too sensitive.
Emasculating me?
No, but
I'm open.
Excuse me, sir. Can you tell? Yes, go ahead, Steve. Right, go. You know what? Here's the reality. A woman can do that, and a man, because by nature we go into protective mode. We're the protectors. That's who we are. It's like, you know, they always hear Steve Harvey talk about us being the hunters and this and that. But we are also, but being the leader and the head or whatever by nature, we go into protective mode, which means we see our woman break down. Okay, she's gonna break down and cry over that shoe. By nature, we're gonna be like, okay, something's wrong. Babe, what's wrong? What can I do to make this better? By nature, just by our natural habitat, that's how we are.
What I could do to make this better?
What I've found is that if it was the reverse, and a man always did that with the woman's gonna be like, yo, I don't mind this.
That's not a man.
It's a whim.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, and it goes to that whole thing with the whole nice guys finish last.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you see that happen a lot. Where when a guy's like that, a girl's gonna be like, he's too soft, man. He's too soft.
Yes.
So a guy can't do that and get away with it the same way a woman can, because by, like I said, by you know, just nature, God-given nature, we're protectors.
So, and that's fine, but first thing, you get it beaten out of you when you're a child, because you guys said earlier in the conversation, well, when you're a kid, oh, you scrape your knee, get up and get back on the bike. Whereas if you allowed Billy to express, Dad, I fell off the bike, my knee hurts, I don't want to ride the bike anymore.
No, that's not the same.
You know what I mean?
That's not the same.
But
no, it's not the same.
But let me just finish my point real quick. So basically what I'm saying is, if that was, first of all, that was an extreme example.
Exactly.
And if that's something that's happening every single day, then okay, I understand where you're coming from. But if that's a one-off, and maybe I'm just a different person or whatever, but I would look at that as something has to be wrong. I would be like, first of all, thank you for being vulnerable with me. You're able to open up and be vulnerable and show your emotions to me. But what's going on if you're this upset over a pair of shoes? Again, to clarify, if it was every single day I come home and it's like, oh, I spent all day doing this and he's crying all the time, then that's different. But that's an extreme example. Most guys aren't doing those types of stuff. And if a man does break, and that's why a lot of guys don't even want to break down and cry to their friends or anybody, because they have this pressure. I'm a man, I have to be masculine, like I have to be this. You're born, you're nurtured, you grow up, and then when it's all said and done, you get it beaten out of you by society.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is definitely a very interesting conversation.
Wish I had more time on this one.
Honestly, I think we could definitely go on and on, but at least I think we got a little bit of insight in terms of, you know, what we think about the gender roles and how now in society, just how much things have changed and how much we now have to adapt and be willing to be more partners in relationships. And and thank you guys all for coming. I really appreciate
just so you know, See you.
and we're nurturers,
Right?
Like we're nurturers.
Thanks, guys.
Destiny.
Oh,
And thank you so much for tuning in to Dani Changg.
Never thought I could be so unselfish, 'cause I gave you everything. Gave you all that I had, now you want someone else. Then again, I should've known you had problems with commitment. Confrontation became consistent. Can't believe I thought you was different.